Today we're having a conversation that I never really thought that we'd actually be having. Going over to the Buffalo Sabres and their past, and contrasting that with their present and their future. Let's talk about the guy who was supposed to be the savior for the franchise back in 2015. A guy that was a second overall pick to trump all second overall picks in the past. Somebody who would have been first overall had he not just been going up against Connor McDavid, and a player who ultimately forced his way out of Buffalo. Let's talk today about Jack Eichel and how he compares to the current Buffalo Sabres points leader, an absolute stud of a player. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. It is 6'7" Tage Thompson, the guy who has absolutely been taking over this hockey league in terms of his highlights, in terms of his points, in terms of his size. Let's talk today about Thompson and how, in the eyes of some people, he is already better than Jack Eichel. And the fact that I even muttered that sentence to me is incredible, because if you had told me that a year ago, hey, guess what, we're going to be talking about Tage Thompson and how he might already be better than Eichel, I would have been like, what? No way, dude. The return from the Ryan O'Reilly trade, we already dubbed that as a St. Louis win back when they won the Stanley Cup. You can't be going out there and telling me that Tage Thompson is going to be this next great thing. I mean, he had 14 points in 38 games played in 2020-2021. How in the heck is this guy going to be better than Eichel in the span of 1 year? Is that really all it takes for a guy to turn his entire career around? Well, apparently it is. Because last year in 2021-2022, Tage Thompson had 68 points, 38 goals, and 78 total games played. His overall performance was good enough to earn him a contract extension wherein he'll make $7.1 million AAV till the end of 2030. That kicks in 2023-2024. Right now, he is still making $1.4 million a season. And if you go over to his 22-23 game log, you'll see that in 22 games played, Tage Thompson has 28 points, 14 goals, and 14 assists. He's on pace for 52 goals and 52 assists for 104 points on the year. And it gets even better when you realize that 25 of Thompson's points in this season have come in 16 games. He had 3 points in his first 8 games, and then he had the rest of the points that he has had after that. 25 points, 15 games played. Do the math on that point pace right there. 25 divided by 15 multiplied out by 82. That's a 137-point pace from the big guy himself. Did we mention he's 6'7"? I don't think we did yet, but he is an absolute behemoth of a man. And in yesterday's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, we saw ourselves yet another goal scored by Thompson, where he absolutely showed off the mitts in the best way possible. He steals the puck out in front of the Tampa Bay goalie, dangles over to the side, has a one-on-one situation with said goaltender, dekes backhand forehand, and then just absolutely walks around the goalie, putting it into the open goal. This guy's hands are like marshmallows. He's so soft and elegant with the puck that he's able to create offense in ways that we've never really seen big guys be able to do before. He's got the same finesse that, dare I say, Jack Eichel had as a member of the Buffalo Sabres too. You know how Jack Eichel is so elegantly able to go backhand, forehand, and just absolutely deke the pants out of goalies? Tage Thompson does that, but when he's going like at a fraction of the speed, and he uses his reach to really help him out in those situations too. Not to mention the fact that because he's 6'7" and he's, 218 pounds, actually a bit lighter than I thought he would be, he's got an absolute bullet of a shot as well. Whether or not it's a one-timer, wherein he absolutely just fires the cannon off, or when he drags it back and gets all the power into that flex and whips it towards the goal, Tage Thompson is an all-round offensive machine that is able to create things at such an incredible pace. He's the best player on the Sabres right now, and I appear to not be the only one talking about Tage Thompson and Jack Eichel comparisons too. Here's what Joe Marino said on Twitter the other day. He is a contributor to the Charging Buffalo. Tage Thompson is better than Jack Eichel. Not something I would have expected ever saying 2 years ago. What I wanted to do was also read some of the replies over here from other Sabres fans and give their perspectives as to this entire comparison. Kyle Adams replies saying this: I've watched enough of both of them, current day, to admit that Tage is more complete than Eichel. Thompson has a creative side to him that Eichel doesn't have. Cody replies saying, yeah, and that's not even a slouch to Jack because he's really good. Tage is just better. Buffalo Billy Joe says this, Tage is just one of those rare players who has an imposing presence you can't help but notice, even when he isn't touching the puck. It's like he has a playmaker's sixth sense and can see how a scoring chance will develop in his mind's eye before it even starts. Brian says that Tage is better than Eichel ever was for the Sabres, but compared to Eichel this season, not positive I can get behind that. Jack has been excellent. Now, going over on Eichel, this also deserves to be brought up as well. Eichel has been playing really well for Vegas this season. He's got 26 points in 24 games played, 11 goals, 15 assists. He's on pace for 89 points on the year. However, it is apparent that Eichel has fewer points than Thompson in more games played. Just individually, by points percentage and point production alone, Thompson is the better player this year. However, as somebody on the West Coast that does have a Vegas game on or two every few nights when they're playing a Pacific team because it's always on Sportsnet, Jack Eichel is just an absolute monster this year. Like, the guy's playing without breaking a sweat, it appears. He never looks tired. He is always going. He is always so on top of his game that it's kind of wild just to think that we were kind of robbed of all the prime years of Eichel development because of the entire neck surgery situation. Had Eichel just been healthy the entire time from 2020 to 2022, who knows how much better he would be right now. We've seen what 2 years of development has done for Tage Thompson in his career. What could Eichel have done? Of course, though, that's not really worth thinking about since what happened has happened, and both of these players are producing and playing extraordinarily well. It's just, they're so similar, I feel, when you really try to pinpoint what they do in the offensive zone that makes their offense work. Eichel is a possession roving center that's not afraid to hold onto the puck for a long amount of time, dangle a guy or two, waltz to the front of the net, and easily just dangle the pants off the goalie in like a split-second move before effortlessly tucking it in. Tage Thompson can kind of do some of the same things, and his big body helps him protect the puck in the ways that guys like Eichel just simply can't, because Eichel, even though he is a big dude, Eichel is 6'2", it's tough to beat 6'7", so there's an added element of protection that Thompson has when he handles the puck, and I feel like that might give him the opportunity to read and acknowledge plays a little bit longer than Eichel has the opportunity to, because the extra split second that a player has when they're trying to reach around Tage Thompson allows him to see, okay, there's a guy open on the backside, let's just shimmy-shammy our way over to the corner and then throw it back out in front for that guy over there. If not, we can just absolutely load up a wrist shot, because he's got that in his arsenal as well. But at the end of the day, when it comes to both of these players, they're both really good. Thompson is just producing a little bit better, and he's playing for a team that I feel has more to cheer for in comparison to the Vegas Golden Knights, because obviously Vegas is good, and we know that they've been one of the top teams for a while, but that's just it. They've been one of the top teams for a while, and they always seem to get good players when they're available in the market. Pietrangelo, Stone, Eichel, Pacioretty, they're always adding, and there's always so much to cheer for. But for a team like Buffalo that was so down there in the dumps for all these years, finally getting themselves a star like Tage Thompson that can dominate the game in the way that he can, that adds a layer of emotional complexity that is not there with the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're winning and they're always so good and their fans are used to them being this good. For Buffalo, y'all had to claw back into this position. So, happy to see for Tage Thompson. He's doing extraordinarily well. If he plays the way he's playing and grows in the ways that we know that he can grow over the next few years, this 7.1 AAV contract, chef's kiss, absolute steal right there. It's going to be a big win. Ton of the console your thoughts about Tage Thompson and whether or not he's better or not than Jack Eichel already. If you're a Blues fan because for some reason you're checking out this video on your guys that used to be part of your organization, how do you feel about Thompson and the explosion of talent that he has gone out there and showcased so far? I know some of you might not care because you won a cup in 2019, which is very valid, but what are your thoughts on Thompson progressing in the way that he has so far? If you're a Vegas fan, what are your thoughts about Jack Eichel and his play this season? I know a lot of people are going to say the same thing, oh, he's been absolutely brilliant, but what other thoughts do you want to share out there when it comes to this conversation over here? Tell me in the comments your thoughts about Thompson, Eichel, the Sabres, the Golden Knights, etc. I hope you enjoyed this Juraj 99, and bye.